Mel, what have you seen this week?
Childless people. That's what I've been reading.
I believe it's child-free. Is that the more politically correct term?
I believe it is, but this article, which I will link to, it's in Forbes, I think, was actually talking about childless bosses. They didn't use the right phrase, and they're saying they might be missing the empathy gene, according to some new research. The whole point is that someone is pointing out, or quite a few people are pointing out, including the author, that if you don't have children and you're a boss, then you can't be as good a boss than if you did have children because you don't have all the skills required to be a boss. I think it's a little bit, yes, I know Leanne's just looking slightly perturbed by this. But yes, so the whole point of this article is saying that if you don't have any children, then number one, you lack skin in the game when it comes to the future. And number two, you're not very good at conflict resolution because you learn that as a parent. I'm not convinced by this one little bit, but I thought it was quite interesting to put it to Leanne and see her rant about this. One big shot at a Globe company is thinking of quitting because his new boss doesn't have kids. He reckons that the new boss just won't understand that he's got his dad duties, so might not be quite as lenient. Apparently now we're saying we want bosses who understand what it's like to have a child, understand what it's like to juggle, the work and family. The question is, maybe listener, can child-free bosses truly understand and sympathise what it means to be a working parent? I don't know. Lee, what are your thoughts?
Do we not have enough us and them already? Do we need to now start coming for the child-free people? And also, this could be highly offensive because you don't always necessarily know if people are child-free by choice. Mm-hmm. They might have had some really difficult journey and got to the point where they're not able to have children. That they're probably even more empathetic and sympathetic to what you might experience as a parent because that's something that they desperately wanted as part of their life experience. So I think it's hugely offensive to even really point to the term child-free, let alone childless. So that's one thing. Don't make an assumption, please. Second, right? Do we remember what we talked about recently about how awful the state of management is across the world because they're not trained and the jobs that recruiting managers don't even ask for managerial skills. Management is pretty rubbish across the board. If I'm being generous, I could then see why perhaps somebody who's a bit more pro-social, because they have children, like they say, they're used to different dynamics of personal relationship, may have better pro-social skills. And we know that also equates to better management in general, very broadly speaking. I'm not sure there's been any studies done, but I will have a look now if there has been any studies into child-free people and their capability as managers, but I would feel fairly confident there is not correlation there in any single way, actually. Just because I am child-free does not mean I don't have the ability to empathise. It doesn't mean I don't have the ability to negotiate or resolve conflicts. It's nonsense. It's nonsense that is
nonsense.
Bringing more divides between people. And who published that?
It was Forbes, which...
Forbes.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. But I would have thought you'd be a little bit better than that. That's a low bar, that, in terms of articles.